Good day, and this is spoiler alert. So I am going to be talking about Black Panther. Really enjoyed it. Great film. And this is just me talking about it. I'm trying this new thing where I say ahead of time that there will be things that I discuss about the movie that might give away parts of it. So, first off, Chadwick Boseman is awesome in it, and yeah, there's just so many good things to say about this movie. Like, Ryan Coogler's directing was phenomenal, but of course it's not a perfect movie, alright? It is not perfect, but it is one of the best Marvel movies in my opinion. It is not as good as, say, well, for me personally, Winter Soldier, or even Guardians of the Galaxy, or the first Avengers, but it is right up there in my top 10. So yeah, that's an achievement, and of course I don't have to tell anyone all the cool things that happened in it, because it seems everyone has seen that movie except for certain places in certain parts of the world who won't be seeing it until next month. But here are some things that I found that were familiar in the film. Number one, it was a James Bond movie, or at least it started off as a James Bond movie. Then it became more of The Lion King in that sense, if I have to make comparisons to other movies. Which also reminds me, why wasn't LeVar Burton in that movie? I'm just thinking of all of the different actors and actresses that they were able to get, that he would have been someone like a no-brainer to cast him as someone in it. But hey. Oh, and on the Star Trek note, anyone else notice that Killmonger was wearing a suit, or I should say, well, the top half, the armor, was very reminiscent of Captain Kirk's jacket from Star Trek Beyond? Or is it just me that noticed that? Yeah, other movies that this movie reminded me of, The Phantom, which is obvious, being that, you know, it is a slight jungle theme based in Africa, even though I think the new one is based in Thailand. But anyway, I'm talking about the one with Billy Zane. I don't care what anyone says, still cool. And also the cartoon of the Phantom in the Future, very interesting, and it's one of the first places I got to learn about Kwanzaa. I think I might have mentioned that in another video, but hey, it's not like anyone that's watching this has watched any of the other ones. Something else that it reminded me of, as I've already said, this is spoiler alert, so the rhinos that were attacking at the very end, the armored rhinos, it reminded me of Beast Wars, Transformers Beast Wars, from that cartoon. That's what they kind of reminded me of, and I know they were there to sell toys, but that whole battle at the end reminded me of the movie John Carter, aka John Carter of Mars. I don't know. I think it was the effects style, or maybe it was seeing a battle of that type, you know, in broad daylight, where everything was happening and there was dust that was coming up, and yeah, it just reminded me of that movie. Also, the design of the Wakandan some of the Wakandan ships. Yeah, some of their hovercraft kind of reminded me of the hovercraft in that movie with the Martian technology. The fight between Black Panther and Killmonger within the Black Panther's lair, that had touches of the Phantom Menace, and the big fight scene between Qui-Gon Jinn and Obi-Wan Kenobi and Darth Maul. Because mainly it's because of that part where they're running at each other, but then they have the force field, so they have to wait. And that's the part that came to mind when I was seeing Black Panther have to wait before he could attack Killmonger, and vice versa, because of the bands of, what is it, of audio energy, keeping them from actually attacking each other because it was turning off the vibranium. Laetitia Wright was awesome, I have to admit. I also find it interesting that they had two Black Mirror alums, being her and Daniel Kaluuya. And of course everyone knows him right now from Get Out, but for me, he'll always be that guy from Kids. Sorry, not Kids, Skins. Tried to go through the entire video without making any major mistakes that I had to correct in video, but you know, that's what happens when you don't actually have a script. You just have notes that you write down. Oh, another Phantom Menace nod in my mind was what the Queen was wearing, T'Challa's mother. It reminded me a lot of what Princess Amidala wore around the end of the movie. But maybe that's just me. And speaking of, well, awesome stuff, I liked that the Afrofuturism style, when combined with that, like, the neon light grid type look, it really reminded me of Tron Legacy, and I am a fan of that movie, so I really liked seeing that. And yeah, the other thing that I noticed that not too many people have pointed out is there was a real Thundercat vibe to the whole movie after they started to have their final act in Wakanda. I really got Lion-O, Panthro type feel with a little bit of Chitara thrown in. It was really cool. Oh, and also the Tron Legacy part that was in my mind is because of the weapons that Lupita Nyong'o's character was using. Also, it reminded me of Xena, Warrior Princess. But yeah. All in all, that was such an awesome movie, and I recommend it to anyone who has an open mind, because I know right now there's a lot of hype surrounding it, and it is more than just hype. It is cool having that representation, but it's also a great film. So I would suggest giving it a try. And I've also written reviews which can be read at my Facebook, which is Rouénation, and also at www.thebahamasweekly.com. Alright, have a good one. Later, people.